Welcome to my YouTube space. I'm a boy from Africa, or a man from Africa. Africa is my business and we are doing it African way every day, every time. Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about this one guy, this one soldier called Ibrahim Traore.
I am not a politician and I don't beat around the bush. I am a soldier and I prefer to tell you the truth.
You know, people talk about him every day, every time, but it's because he is doing great work. He's doing good job, okay? And we as African people need president like Ibrahim Traore, because on the other hand, Black Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, and each and every black person who is following the business of Africa, he loves Ibrahim Traore, and they are talking about Traore, and they are supporting the motive of Traore.
And finally, the slave empire, according to them, it's Africa and certain peoples of South America. In their minds, as I mentioned recently, Africa belongs to them, our lands belong to them, the riches of Africa are for them, and they can't conceive that Africans could liberate themselves, to come up for air and therefore want to stand up to them, and for that they put a stereotype in their heads. The African is easy to manipulate, he is just emotion. They will always find an African to fight against his brother. And it has always been like that. Subtitling by Radio Society. Through communication and through various means, they have managed to make you hate your own skin color.
And when Ibrahim Traore invited them to go to Burkina Faso, they went there in numbers. There's videos you've been seeing Black Americans flocking in Burkina Faso. There is this lady, this bold woman called Dr. Arcana. She's advocating for the migration of Black Americans to Burkina Faso. That shows how much people love Ibrahim Traore.
So, Mr. President, I bring you your children, descendants of the formerly enslaved. They have waited over 400 years to return the spirits of their ancestors back home to Africa.
And when we do these videos of Ibrahim Traore, in one way or the other, we are motivating him to do or continue doing the great job he's doing. One of the jobs he's doing is bringing Burkina Faso on a brighter side. And this is not helping Burkina Faso alone. It is helping the whole of Africa. Now, the people from Africa, the youths, their antenna is high. They are now seeing future of Africa. The Black Americans or African Americans who are in other countries, or African in diaspora in other countries, they are now having Africa in mind. Let me tell you, for a long time, Africa has been belittled. For a long time, they have been selling agendas that Africa is not a good place to be. For a long time, a narrative of poverty, diseases, hunger, drought has been everywhere. That Africa is a country of poverty, Africa is a country of hunger, Africa is a country of disease. Disease is everywhere. When you talk about malaria, when you talk about HIV, smallpox, it can be everywhere. Each and every continent has its own problem. For example, when you talk about there is a lot of cold in Canada, it's the same thing we talk about there is a lot of drought maybe. So you cannot portray Africa as a drought continent, the whole of Africa, simply because some places there is a lot of sun. But they will portray it in a way to be seen like it is something bad. And one thing I've been saying, why do they portray Africa in a bad way and yet they are coming here in Africa? They will tell other black people not to come in Africa, but them, they are flocking in Africa. Doing what? Stealing, exploiting, doing every sort of things here. They will say Africa is poor, but you will see them coming here in Congo, creating chaos. They will be in Rwanda, they will be in Ghana, they will go in South Africa. At the end of the day, they will tell you as an African diaspora that Africa is not a place to go. Believe me, they are in Sudan, they are in Somalia, but they will tell you these places, there is no safety. Don't come here. But they will go there. They will get oil from there and they will go. So we as black people, we are the one personally who are killing our own continent. We are killing our own continent because we are being lied and we are accepting lies that our continent is bad. So I may say this, Africa is a better place to be. Africa is one of the superb continent to be. Africa is rich and you can be rich here in Africa, but they will tell you, yo, come to our land of milk and honey. In Africa you cannot get anything good. Now our youths are flocking Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to Canada, going to look for greener pasture, and yet we are leaving our greener pasture here in Africa and we are going. What's that? But with the presence of Ibrahim Traore, now we have started to regain the energy. With the presence of Ibrahim Traore, we are seeing the better future of Africa and we are believing that things can happen. Things like what? Things like African countries depending on themselves. Burkina Faso right now is depending on itself. Even the AU or African Union, they said they tried to eliminate them from the group. The ECOWAS, they tried. And he had this stand that we are not coming back to ECOWAS. Why is Ibrahim Traore refusing ECOWAS? It's because ECOWAS, AU, East African Community, SADC, all of these are the tools that are being used by the colonizer to continue their agenda of colonizing Africa indirectly. Why do you think Ibrahim Traore is refusing ECOWAS? He is not mad. He knows what ECOWAS means. He knows the business that is being done in ECOWAS. He knows the people who are running ECOWAS. He knows the business going on in ECOWAS. It's not good business. It's not good for the people of Africa. It's not good for Africans. It's not good for black people. 70% of ECOWAS is full of foreign countries, or maybe 80%. Foreign leaders, they are the one leading this, but indirectly. It's only 20% they are giving to Africans. So if ECOWAS is of good to us, if SADC is of good to us, if AU is of good to the people of Africa, that means the richness, nobody could have exploited Africa because they should be there to protect this. The wars going on in Congo, Sudan and every country, it could not be there because the unity of Africa means strength. Now, every day we are praying, let us unite as Africa, let us unite, let us unite. But do you know, AU has united around 52 states countries. Now, minus Mali, minus Burkina Faso, let me say ECOWAS is uniting right now 48 state countries of Africa. But do you see that unity? No unity. Do you see the exploitation has stopped? No. Because the business of AU is not to make Africa great. The business of AU is to make the colonizer's stomach big. The business of AU is to exploit Africa, is to eat Africa, is the people of Africa to continue being in this poverty state. But Ibrahim Traore is here to reverse that. And African in diaspora, they are supporting that. Now I see a lot of black people around the world, they are happy about Ibrahim Traore, they want to come to Africa, they are just glad. And I'm happy that black Americans, African diaspora, Caribbeans, I'm happy what they are trying to do. They are trying to show the unity because there is this one guy who is showing them the way, and this guy is Traore, this guy is Tiani, the general from Mali. Niger is showing them the way that yes, we can, as African countries, as black people, we can bring about good Africa. We can stop this migration of youth from Africa going to look for better land or better pasture or green pasture somewhere else. We as African people, we need to create our own Africa. See what Ibrahim Traore is doing. Building a wheat factory, building tomato factory, elevating the farmers, you know, because farming is the backbone of some countries in Africa, like Burkina Faso. They depend on farming so much, and they have a large tracts of land. Now, why should we leave our large tracts of land just to sit like that, and yet we will be going to look for greener pastures somewhere, leaving our lands? And the greener pastures we are going to, we are giving them chance. They are coming in Africa. White people are having bigger tracts of land here in Africa. You get that? Producing food, selling to us as we have gone to their land. Now what's that? One thing, when you go look for greener pasture, for example, in America, that does not mean that your life will be good. Of course, when you're going there, there's a lot of bills like housing, everything. People are there and they are complaining. So you will live your life working 3 jobs a day, all hours, 20 hours, you are working 14 hours, but you'll just rotating, just working, no saving, no anything. But in Africa, you can plant, start factories. A lot of things can be done in Africa. Just look at it in a very good perspective. It's sweetness in Africa. Somebody asked me, or somebody told me, one of my fans, don't get me wrong. He told me, hey brother, why are you not going to Canada to look for jobs? You know, you're a young man, just go there. It's good. If you preach this message to us, it's a good message, but no one is following it. And I told him, I will keep on preaching this message about Africa, about black people, until something will happen. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do. Because at the end of the day, everyone will come back in Africa. Leave alone those people saying that I will not come to Africa. Oh, Africa is not. Oh, but at the end of the day, even the white people come back to Africa. To elevate the economy, they need to come back to Africa. You know, to continue to have good life there, they need to come back to Africa. Exploit, and then go back. Even everything you are doing, Africa, 60% of it is channeled by Africa. See the Christianity that's going on. For Christianity to be strong, they put it in Africa. For the races, supremacy to be strong, they started in Africa. So at the end of the day, Africa is the king. And we as black people, we need to stand by Ibrahim Traore. So the business that Ibrahim Traore is doing in Africa, that is one that is, you know, the people are loving it. And that's why we are talking about him every day. You know, and he is focusing on the youths, he's focusing on education, he's focusing on the wellness, the health system, you know, he's focusing on the agriculture, because he want to liberate Africa. And when you want to liberate Africa, you need to consider these things. First of all, education, because a learned generation or a learned community can do anything. They can change how people think. But we as African people, a lot of us, or black people, or here in African countries, we are denied this education. When you see in countries like Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, maybe education is very, very expensive. And when education is very expensive, a lot of children are not going to school. And when a lot of children are not going to school, we become illiterate. And when they are in their 20s, 30s, we have an illiterate generation that cannot produce a leader. When you cannot produce a leader, that means you will have to be led by these old people. And when you are being led by these old people, they know very well, they have captured your brain. They are the one doing everything for you. They will tell you, oh, this is like this is like this, but they are not doing like that. For example, not a bad example, there is this opposition leader from Tanzania. He said this: Tanzanians don't know even if they are paying land rates. They don't know they are paying for their lands they are living in. They don't know how much tax they are paying. They are just living. Because of this, one, a lot of people in Tanzania, they are not familiar with English language. They are familiar with Swahili language. And these colonizers, they came with English language because they knew there is some people, some village elders, they will not know about anything they are saying. So they will communicate in their own way that these people can't understand. So when a Tanzania guy take a paper and read, oh, tax, even doesn't know what it means, he lives like that. And that's why they are being continued to be oppressed. Okay? So we need to have a learned generation. We need to have literate people who, you know, upwards perfect. And that's why Ibrahim Traore is focusing on education. Another thing, Ibrahim Traore wants everyone from his country who has gone to come back to the country. Because these guys who have gone away, they are just going to elevate another country. So, for example, we have brains. People can build cars. People can build things. You know, technicians, and they are running away from the country, going to another country to go and work there. That means what? That means the countries these people are coming from, it will not elevate. There will not be any more technicians because all of the technicians have gone. And the few that are there will be paid small money. Now, there's a white lady who said this. She went to Jamaica. And when she went to Jamaica, she was looking for a carpenter. And she was saying she went like 1 hour, 2 hours. She had not find a carpenter. And she asked around why there's no people who can work, manual work. She was told that a lot of people have gone to America. Some of them are in Canada. They are not here. So that means what? That means that each and every carpenter of that country has gone away. Yeah, the technicians have gone away. Electricians have gone away. So the country cannot grow. Let me tell you, when I'm from this house, I'm here. I know to deal with welding and, some things. And I come here, I see there's a cut here. I will know how to make it work. I will make it work. But when I go to my friend's house and live there, that means this is my house, everything will be ruined, but no one will be there to help me to make it. Because all of us will be gone. So we need our people back in our countries. And that's a good thing Traore is doing. Bringing back the people of Burkina Faso back to Burkina Faso. Bringing the brains of Burkina Faso back to Burkina Faso. Because we are sending a lot of brains out. We are building these countries. Our ancestors built the country when they went there. For example, our ancestors could be here in Africa. The things they were doing there in America, for example, planting cotton, rice, sugarcane, they could put all that energy here in the lands of Africa. Where could Africa be economically? But they decided to go in America. Not they decided, but they were forced to go to America through slave trade to go and build that country. Now those countries are economically fit, but as Africa, we are still poor. They are calling us third world countries, third world continent, But at the end of the day, what Traore is doing by bringing back the people is good. And I love that. And I think each and every leader of Africa is seeing that. And I think the youths are seeing that. By the way, I see my videos. There's no youths there. Youths, you need to watch these videos. You need to know what's going on. You need to know what's popping, man. African Americans, this message was for you, African in diaspora. Thank you for the support you are showing, coming back to Africa and showing the interest to come back to Africa, even if you can't afford. A lot of them are saying we can't afford, but you can start a life in Africa in a very easy way. Very easy way. I believe that all of you will find body to your heart to come to Africa and support Ibrahim Traore, support the presidents who are willing to change Africa, because this is our business, okay? I am the Kenyan Beast. This video is for African in diaspora and everyone who wanna support Africa. I know it's good for you. So if you wanna subscribe there. If you wanna support anything you wanna do, just do it there. Until next episode, peace be with you.